So about a year ago, I made my biggest crochet project yet. It was a water lily inspired set. It had a skirt, a top, a set of sleeves, and even a little water lily pad hat. Since then, I've had a lot of people asking me for a tutorial, but part of the reason I procrastinated so much on making this video was I wasn't quite sure how to approach it because I myself used a lot of other people's tutorials to kind of piece this set together. With that in mind, this video isn't going to be your classic step-by-step crochet tutorial. Instead, I'm going to walk you through my process, kind of explain my thinking, and then also point you to the tutorials that you can use so you could also recreate this look if you wanted. Hi, if you don't already know me, my name is Kennedy. I create crochet and craft content, and I'm really excited to share this project with you because honestly, I think it might be the thing I'm most proud of. It was a very, very long process, but it ended up coming out like exactly how I had envisioned it in my brain. So it was very, very satisfying to see. And again, super excited to be able to share it with you. So for the materials, I used the Red Heart Super Saver acrylic yarn and a 4mm hook, as well as a tape measure, stitch markers, tapestry needles, all your classic supplies. If I were to recreate this look, I don't think I would use the same acrylic yarn. Personally, I have really come to hate the feeling of acrylic yarn on my skin. It's very scratchy and just not comfortable to wear. So I never wear this outfit ever, not even for Halloween or costume parties. And even though this outfit is basically a short skirt and a bikini top, the acrylic yarn made it really, really hot to wear because it trapped all of the body heat. So overall, it was just pretty uncomfortable. I will say though that the upside of using the Red Heart Super Saver yarn is those giant skeins made it a lot more affordable. You got more yarn for your money. But again, if I did it over, I think I would choose an organic cotton yarn that's more breathable and comfortable on the skin. For the base of the skirt, I used this tutorial from T. They call it a skater skirt, and it was a very, very easy tutorial to follow, perfect for beginners. For the appliques, I had some really pretty lily pads and a very ugly koi fish. For some reason, the koi fish pattern was just not clicking in my head, and I could not get it right. I didn't like the way it ended up looking, but at that point of the project, I was just so done and I wanted to finish it, so I just slapped it onto the skirt. But again, if I did it over, I think I would practice a little bit more. But here are those tutorials that I used. I put some other koi fish pattern options as well. And once I finished those appliques, I just sewed them onto the skirt. The bikini top is a tutorial from Sade Crochet. They use a really pretty rice stitch in their tutorial, which I love because I think it adds some really unique texture and it creates a tighter weave so you have some nice coverage. I will say though, I think if you have a larger cup size, you might want to use a different tutorial. I also have some other options in the playlist. Overall, this tutorial was really easy to follow and I've even used it for some other projects. For the sleeves, I wanted to create a water motif to kind of replicate the pond, and so I used the almond ridge stitch in alternating colors to really make the texture pop. And for the sleeves, I freehanded it, so there isn't an exact tutorial that I use, but like I mentioned, I used the tutorial to learn how to do the almond stitch and then the mesh stitch as well for the sleeves. So I'm a very visual person, so I'm going to kind of draw out how I freehanded this. So first, I took my bust measurement and then took that measurement and cut it in half, and that half of my bust measurement is the length of the chain that I created. So that's going to be the width of this first panel. So I basically just created a rectangle from that measurement, and the height was just however long or short I wanted it to be. From there, I added two little rectangle sections for the shoulder part, and then along this edge I just sewed it together. And then I created a second panel, with the same measurements. And for the front panel, I used the almond stitch, as you can see here, and the second back panel is a mesh stitch. So those are the two front and back panels. And then for the sleeves, it's honestly, I just created two rectangles that were equal to the length of my arm. So if you want your sleeves to be shorter or longer, you can just crochet to any preferred length. And then to sew everything together, I used a tutorial that I learned from a cardigan tutorial created by Emma P. You can watch their explanation at the 21:48 minute mark. But essentially what you do is you take these two front panels and sew them together at the shoulder joint. Once you've sewn them together, as I've kind of illustrated by taping it, you have this like big rectangle with a hole in the middle, and this hole is going to be where your head goes through. So lay it out flat, and then lay your sleeves out flat as well, and then you just sew it to this shoulder section and repeat it on the other side. So once you have everything sewed together along the seams that I have highlighted, you just fold it in half. So it goes like this, and then the sleeves fold in half as well, and it should look like this. So essentially, again, you're just folding this shape over, folding the sleeves in half, and then you have something that looks pretty close to a sweater. And then from there, you just sew along this edge of the sleeve and then down the sides of the sweater. And then you just repeat that on the other side. And then you have your nice little set of sleeves or sweater. For the hat, I used this tutorial to create the lily pad and the flower, which I then sewed together. And then once those were finished, I just took an extra hair clip that I had lying around and hot glue gunned it together to make it stick. And then I had a little hat. And this is the complete look. I love how it turned out. I think I would add more appliques to the skirt, but overall it was a really fun project. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that helps explain a little bit more about how this project came to life. All the tutorials that I mentioned and more will be located in the playlist in the description so that you can easily reference them if you want to recreate this look. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and feel free to connect with me on my socials. If you recreate this look, as always, please, please, please tag me on TikTok or Instagram so I can repost your projects.